people to start appearing here now. Hope this is going out live to everybody. Do pop on, say hello. There's chat here. This is a coffee just drank. There's a past life regression tonight with Penny Griffiths Morgan, and I'm really looking forward to doing this live. It's going to be really, really interesting. I'm going to put the chat up as well, so people, if you want to ask questions, can put the questions up. Oh, good, people are beginning to arrive now. So do say hello, everybody. And Penny has written many wonderful books and is also got the fantastic site, resource website, and is Haunted Histories. As we're waiting for people to join so they can enjoy this bit at the beginning and when they rewatch as well, do you want to say a little bit about yourself and Haunted Histories, please? Hi, Diane.
Yeah, sure. I set up Haunted Histories. Well, I started doing the podcast for Haunted Histories, I think, 8 years ago now, 8 years ago. It was originally with the Parasearch group. Oh, Trouble's in here. Mark Reynolds, his trouble, that one. It was with the Parasearch group, and basically their owner, Richard Clements, has said to me, I've seen you doing a few lives on Facebook. You're a really good presenter. If you did a podcast, what would you like to do? And I said, well, history and the paranormal are my thing. And one of my bugbears is when paranormal sites make up the history to try and encourage more people to come in. And I said, I'd like to do something where I'm kind of showing what the true history is behind a location, rather than say, oh, yeah, it was a murder site, 2,300 people were killed here and all that kind of thing, and show that actually you don't have to have had something uber traumatic in a location for it to be haunted or active, or whatever term you want to use. And that's kind of how the podcast started. And it kind of just grew from there. And then about 5 years ago, I wrote My Haunted History. The author, Richard Estep, is a friend of mine, and he was the one who kept saying, you've got to write a book, you've got to write a book. I've always wanted to write a book, and I wrote that, and I've done pretty much one a year since. This year is going to slow down a little bit because I've got a lot of other projects on, but so that's really how it started. And it was kind of my goal is to have people who are very into the paranormal to realize that history isn't like fuddy-duddy, dusty, boring sort of, but also historians to realize that not all people who investigate the paranormal are completely bonkers and think every single sort of like noise like that is a ghost. And so now I have sort of friends and contacts on both sides of the field, and I'm trying to sort of marry the two. That's how it started.
I mean, it is brilliant, and I was lucky enough to see you at Power Meet, and I really enjoyed your talk.
Thank you.
And you've recently done a wonderful podcast on Kenilworth Castle, so that's well worth listening to as well.
Part one, yes. Because I did the Festival of the Unexplained 2 weeks after the Power Meet, and part one of their sort of USPs is I did the one last year as well, and I did a tour of Bosworth Field, the Battle of Bosworth, where Richard III was murdered by Henry Tudor, and they said, could you do another one? And I said, well, let's make it a surprise. Nobody knows where we're going. So I got to choose the location. I got to put the whole thing together, and we went to Kenilworth Castle. And so I did a sort of 2-hour tour of some of the elements of Kenilworth Castle. And so I thought, well, because I'd had to mess the podcast guest around I was going to have for September because I had COVID, I thought, why don't I just talk about some of the things that I found out about Kenilworth. And that's where that most recent one came from. So
amazing. I'm going to say hello to a couple of people. Now, there is a new option on Restream which allows you to put up comments in the corner so that people watching on YouTube can also interact with each other, because sometimes it's like there's two different conversations. Let me know now, because if you like that being up, or whether you'd like me to remove it if it makes it too difficult to see, particularly if you're watching on your mobile phones as well. So do let me know what you think about this. I'm going to say some hellos. So hello to Drew, to Lisa, to Sue, to Lisa Berman, Sue, Jordan, Mark, Lauren, hello to you. Anna, hello to you. Patricia, hello to you. Kerry, hello to you. Diane, hello to you, and thank you all for watching. So so let's see what people think. Charles, good to see you on here, Charles, as well. So I'm delighted that you agreed to do this past life regression. Is it something that you've thought about before, or was it that you kind of I persuaded you to?
No, no, no. I was actually really chuffed, and it was quite fortuitous you asked, because it is something that I've sort of been thinking about for years, if I'm completely honest. But I was almost a bit scared, because it was like, what's it going to uncover? I very nearly originally we were going to have a regressionist
Mm,
at the festival that I did towards the end of September, but he didn't come in the end, and they were trying to persuade me to be regressed via him.
mm.
And when that didn't happen, and then when you reached out, I was just like, this is meant to be. So it's something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I'm also a bit nervous about, which I think I've said
Yeah.
to you.
Yes, well, you'll be fine. I'll look after you. And so that I know, I want to say hello to Buzz. Hope you're doing good. And I think I said hello to Charles. I hope everybody is good. For any reason, should this go down and the internet stop, and you'll be able to bring yourself easily out of hypnosis. So I just want to let people know that you'll be able to come out of it completely and utterly fine. Just checking if Penny's still here. Please don't say that's me that's gone. It's all right. You just paused for a
I
second,
think
so I
there's
was
a streaming
slightly.
issue here,
Yeah.
Paul.
Okay. Right. So let's just give this a second and see how that's going. Now, if people can watch, I'm going to just pop this on my phone as well and just see what the streaming is actually like, and see if which one of us is lagging behind, and see if I could do anything about it. But we were just talking about this, and should
You're
one of us
back.
get
You're
cut off,
back.
good. Oh, good. Should one of us disappear, then it'll be absolutely fine. Nobody's going to, you're not going to be stuck in hypnosis or anything like that. So I'm just double checking that this is okay. Oh, so who's paused? Am I on here still?
I'm here.
Oh, good. Have I?
Yeah,
So,
you're here still.
all right. Okay. I think we both. I was just watching the video back because it's a few seconds behind. We seem to both pause. So let's go for it. Should the stream go
Yeah.
down, you'll be able to bring yourself out of hypnosis easily anyway, and I'll connect you via the phone. So with that, you happy to go ahead? Do you have
Okay.
any questions or anything?
Not at all. No.
Okay.
I mean, one thing I could do before we start is I'm just going to ask the husband to get kids off the internet, because that might be what it is.
Yes.
So I don't know how many of them are logged in. One sec. There we go.
Despite what some of the adverts say, I find that if there's more than one person trying to stream sync at the same time, it will clog up.
Yeah, so I've just messaged him, so hopefully he'll see that in a second. I know he's got his phone upstairs with him, so sorry, just hijacking
No, it's
the live here,
absolutely
trying to
fine.
make it
So
all work.
do talk to each other. And I was just going to see, what do people think about these comments being at the side? Do you like it, or do you want me to take it off? So you can actually see what everybody's saying at the side here. And if anyone wants to ask any questions for me to ask Penny, feel free and ask them. Most of the time I do ask them, but once or twice I think that's not the best question to ask. I'll explain the reason after we've finished anyway.
Yeah, he's just checking what the kids are doing to sort of see if we can get as many of them, we can get them off the internet. So
Excellent. Good. Drew
Yeah.
likes it, so that's good.
good.
Excellent. So you have to close your eyes for me now. And in your own time, you can start taking some nice, slow, deep breaths. Allowing yourself to make each and every single in and out breath more relaxed than the one before. More relaxed than the one before. And as soon as your inner mind knows you can relax sufficiently to review memories of a life you've lived before this one, you can find yourself getting a little more relaxed now. Just allowing yourself to relax your breathing. That's right. And to help allow yourself to relax, I want you to visualize a wonderful place of your choosing. And this wonderful place of your choosing can be a real place, an imaginary place, or a combination of both. It's up to you. But here you're free to relax and free to come back to this wonderful, relaxing place whenever you choose. Allowing yourself to relax those little muscles around your eyes, just that much more. And over your face and down your neck. Your shoulders relax now. Down your spine. Down your arms. Allowing your hips to relax now. Down your legs. Knees relax. Down to your shins. Ankles. Soles of your feet. And toes relax deeply. And as you relax deeper and deeper, and more deeply relaxed, you can be aware of my voice. Being aware of your breathing that happens naturally all by itself. You can be aware of yourself relaxing deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed now. And you can enjoy that feeling of relaxation as I'm quiet. That's right. Now you've relaxed the body. It's now time to relax the mind. And as your mind relaxes, your body relaxes. And as your body relaxes, your mind continues to drift and float. Deeper relaxed now. In a moment, I'm going to slowly count backwards from 10 to 1. Each and every number I count down, you relax. Deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed. So that by the time I reach number 1, you'll be in your basement of relaxation. Alright now. 10. Drifting, floating, unwinding, letting go now. Feeling so very sleepy. So very relaxed. 9. Everything is slowing down now. Slowing down now. Slowing down. 8. Deeper and deeper. And more deeply, deeply relaxed now. 7. That's right. Drifting and floating. And floating and drifting. Deeper, relaxed now. Allowing yourself to be aware and allowing yourself to drift deeper, to be able to review memories way back before you were born. 6. Down, 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 down. 5. Floating, sinking, drifting, that's right. 4. So sleepy. So relaxed. Deeper and deeper and deeper sleep. 3. So sleepy. So relaxed. Allowing yourself now to drift even further from 3 to 2. That's right. And at the count of the next number, you'll be in your basement of relaxation. Alright now. 1. And as you relax deeper and deeper, in a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And on 3, allow your subconscious mind to come up with a corridor. And in this corridor there are doors leading off to either side. And each of these doors leads back, way back to before you're born. Back to a life you've lived before this one. And if you haven't already, allow yourself to visualize that corridor of your choosing. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, that corridor your subconscious mind creates for you. take a moment to allow yourself to visualize and experience your corridor, with the doors leading off to either side. And slowly, easily and effortlessly to allow yourself to stay in this nice, deep, relaxed state. Describe to me out loud what your corridor looks like.
Very modern looking. Sort of nothing is parallel. It's sort of like wonky. And on the left side there's only a couple of doors. But on the right side there's door after door after door after door. But it looks like if I walk down it I'll fall over because it's on an angle.
Very good. And is there a door that you're drawn to go through and experience a life you've lived before this one?
It's up there.
Very good. Just allow yourself very safely to travel down to that door. And as you travel down to that door, you relax deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed. And just let me know when you're just outside that door of your choosing to your past life.
My hand's on the handle.
Very good. Next count of 3. Allow yourself to open that door and be able to see, sense, feel what it's like, the life you've lived before this one. Allow yourself to turn that handle and open that door on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The door opens to your past life. And just let me know what you can see, sense or experience through that doorway now.
It's a bar, a pub.
Very good.
There's lots of wood. I feel out of place, but no one's looking at me. I've gone straight to the bar, and the woman behind it, she's older than me, but she feels like my mother, but she's not my mother. And she's asking me if I want a drink.
Very good. And allow that door to close behind you so you fully submerge yourself now in that bar with the lady in front of you. And just describe a little more of what you can see now in that place.
It's very loud, but and they're all talking with kind of London accents. I almost want to say "governor" sort of thing. That's that kind of. And this woman's leaning across and touching my face and telling me she's proud of me.
That's nice.
And I can smell sort of sweat and beer and cigarettes, but it's friendly. Nobody wants to hurt me. I'm accepted there for some reason, even though I don't. I can see myself in a mirror, and I don't look like them.
Describe to me how you look, please.
Posh. Very. I've got a really. I've got my hands. I had my hands in on those fur things that women used to put their hands in to keep them warm. And I've got the clothes just look really expensive. And my hair, I'm blonde, and my hair is tied up. Whereas I think she's my sister behind the bar is quite unkempt and smells of beer.
Very good. Now on the count of 3, the year comes to you of what year it is now. 1, 2, 3. What year is it?
1861? 1861?
Very good. And now, on the next count of 3, your name of what they call you in this lifetime. 1, 2, 3. What do they call you in this lifetime?
Jessie.
Thank you, Jessie. Staying with this lifetime, how old do you feel you are now?
I'm in my 20s.
Very good. So you're in your 20s. Now, just describe to me a little more of what the lady behind the bar, which seems like your sister, has that connection. Describe her to me, please. A bit more.
She's older. I think she's about 10 years older than me. She's got kind of mousy coloured hair, curly. She's got a white shirt and a long, I think it's black skirt on. I think it's her pub, or she works there, because everyone respects her. She's just told someone off for dropping his ash on the floor, and he's apologised.
I'm glad she is able to control the people there. And now, let me know what her name is. What's her name?
Betty?
Betty.
Betty?
Very good. And you said you're accepted, but you kind of feel out of place there. Do you know why you're there at this particular moment in time?
I've gone to visit my sister to tell her some news.
Very good. And tell me what that news is now.
That I'm having a baby.
Wonderful news. I am glad to hear that.
And I'm scared. I'm scared to have the baby.
Is that just normal wondering fear? Is that why you're scared of having the baby?
I don't know.
Okay. May well come out later. Now, staying with this lifetime and telling your sister, just want you to go to the moment of when your sister first hears that news and let me know that now.
She's ringing a bell and shouting out she's going to be an auntie.
That's nice.
And everyone's clapping and cheering.
Good. And how does that feel to hear that?
It's making me happy.
I'm glad. Now, so that's your sister's pub. On the next count of 3, the name of what your sister's pub is comes to you. 1, 2, 3. What's the name of this pub?
Bear and something. Rag? Rug? Rag? I'm bearing something.
Bear and rug, bear and rag. Good.
Something, bearing something. The sign's got a bear on it with something.
Now, earlier you told me it seemed like London, almost Cockney. Is that where you feel you are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. And just on the next count of 3, the street or area of where this is more specifically this pub, allow that to come to you on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Area or street name?
Clarice or Clarendon?
Good.
I can't see. This is Clare something, CLAR something. It's got a lot of dirt on it. I can't.
That's okay.
Class something.
I'm glad that you're able to read some of the sign, even though it has some dirt on it. Now, staying with this lifetime, I want you to move to the moment of when you were just either going in or just leaving the pub, so you can describe to me what it looks like from the outside. Allow that to happen now, so you can describe it.
It's like dirty red brick. The windows have that kind of smoky effect on half of them, so you can't see in. And as you step outside, there's horse manure everywhere, and smells really strong smell of sort of coal smoke and noise. There's just noise, people yelling and calling out to each other, and it's loud.
Thank you for that. And just let me know what you feel your family name is now, because I know your name. What's your family name? Allow that to come to you now.
Garrett. Begins with a G. Garrett.
Thank you. Now, staying with this lifetime, I'm going to go back in time, back to the man that you are with, that you have the child with, so you can describe him, but how you very first met him. Allow yourself now to go back to that time. 1, 2, 3. Tell me about that, please.
I was walking in a posh part of London, and I had a basket of like little flowers to sell to people, and some men were being horrible to me. They wanted me to go around the corner with them, and I said no, and they knocked my basket to the ground and started stamping on my flowers. He came over. He was tall, cheekbones, well dressed, and he made them leave me alone.
That's very good. And now, let me know what his name is. That comes to you now. What's his name?
Walter?
Okay. So you know you can have that in your mind as Walter, and if it comes to a little more clearly later, you'll be able to tell me. But now, just allow yourself to move forward just a little bit in time after that first encounter with Walter, and let me know what's happening now.
We're getting married.
Good. And tell me about that day when you're getting married, please.
It's a small wedding in a church. His father likes me, but his mother thinks I'm below him and wouldn't come. My sister's there,
That's good.
and she's right at the front and can't stop grinning.
So tell me about your husband's to be father to begin with. He likes you. Describe him to me, and what's his name?
He's Walter as well. He's a banker, and he thinks I'm genuine. And although I'm not from money, he thinks I'm genuine, and I make his son happy.
That's good. I'm glad that you make his son, she thinks Walter, happy. Describe the mother to me now, please.
She wanted him to marry her friend's daughter, but he doesn't like her. He thinks she's a bitch. And she's just out for attention and people telling her how amazing she looks. She doesn't want to be a companion or a wife. She wants a trophy. But it's his mum's close friend, and that's why his mum thinks she doesn't like me because I'm not her friend's daughter, and she thinks I'm after their money.
I'm sorry she doesn't like you. What's her name now?
Gwendolyn.
Gwen. Very good. So on this wedding day, let me know the venue you're getting married at. Describe it to me, please.
It's a very tiny little chapel, probably about 10 pews on each side. I think it's something to do with his family. There's not many people there. There's a lot of his family staff have come because they like him.
Good.
But not many family, and I don't have any family apart from my sister.
Now tell me about what your husband be, what he does as work. We heard about your father-in-law, what he does, but what does he do for work?
He's a lawyer.
That's good. And do you know if he's told you the firm that he works for, whoever it is, if it's got a name?
Gibson and Partner.
Thank you, that's good to know. And now this little chapel, this little church that you're getting married at, the name of that comes to you now.
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. That's good. And whereabouts do you feel St. Peter's is?
I don't know. It was a long. We had to go in a carriage for a long time to get there. I think is it Norfolk? I think.
That's nice. Now, tell me about this carriage that you travelled in, and just allow yourself to go to that moment of when you're travelling in the carriage. That happens. 1, 2, 3. Describe the carriage to me.
I wanted to sit up the front so I could be near the horses. There's 2 horses.
Describe the horses to me, please.
They're black. Big and black and shiny.
Very nice.
And the coachman, he kept telling me off and said I couldn't go up there. It was a bit of a joke. He said women can't sit up on that seat thing.
How did that make you feel?
It's funny. It's making us laugh.
Describe the coachman to me. How does he look?
He's quite young. He's probably about 30. He's amazing with the horses. They love him. He's quite cheeky looking. Quite small. Friendly. Funny. The kind of person I'd be friends with.
That's good. Now let's stay with this lifetime now. But for now we just go back in time a bit. Back to your childhood days. Maybe when you're around the age of 10. But just so we can know a little bit more about your life then. Allow yourself to go back, staying with this lifetime now, to around 10 years old. 1, 2, 3. Let me know what you're aware of now.
There's a male figure. I think he's my father, but he doesn't want anything to do with me. He just wants the money that I've earned. My sister keeps saying she's a child, leave her alone.
It's nice to know.
It's poor. It's really poor. My dress has got holes in it. I've only got boots on because I stole them from up the road.
It's good to know your sister looks out for you. Now tell me about these boats. How did you steal those?
Boots. Someone had left them outside their house. I don't know why. And I didn't have any. And I needed them because I need to go to work. And I have to have boots to go into the factory. Otherwise they don't let me in. And I need the money to keep my father happy.
Which factory do you work at? What do you do?
Matchsticks. It's horrible.
I'm sorry to hear that. Staying with this lifetime, just allow yourself to go to a time when you're at this factory so you can describe to me what the conditions are like and who's there. Allow yourself to travel to that 1, 2, 3. Be in that magic factory now.
Oh, there's him who's in charge. And he hits us if we don't. He's beating my friend because she's hurt her finger cutting the bits of wood. And because she's got blood on the wood, so he's hitting her. I can't help her.
I am sorry. And who is this horrible man? Does he have a name?
I don't know his name, he's just known as him.
Can you just...
We're not allowed to call him by name. He always smells of alcohol. And he's always angry. The only time you hear him laughing is when he's talking, I think, to a person who comes in a black suit with a tie. We're not allowed to even look at him.
Because you...
We don't have names, we have numbers.
And what number have you been given?
2. I sit in number 2.
Can you describe him, that horrible man, that horrible person, what he looks like?
I think he's a lot older than me. I think he's about 50. And he has a scarf, dirty scarf around his neck that he pulls off and then coughs into a lot. Like, into. And he always has this stick that he swings or taps against the benches we sit at. As soon as you hear the stick, you know someone's going to get hurt.
I am very sorry to hear that. And whereabouts in the country is this match factory?
Bow.
Bow, okay. Staying with this lifetime, we'll move further forward in time. Further forward to you being at the age of 16. Staying with this lifetime, allow yourself to go to it now. 1, 2, 3. 16 years old now. Staying with that lifetime. And describe to me what you're doing now at 16.
I'm in that pub again.
What are you doing in that pub at this time?
I'm collecting glasses and giving people pies.
Sounds good. How do you feel working here?
Happier.
That's good.
Happier. There's a few of the men that are a bit too handsy, but my sister said I can slap them.
And do you ever slap them?
Oh yeah.
Good.
They don't do it again.
Staying with this lifetime, we'll go to your happiest memory within this lifetime. That happens now, your happiest memory. Tell me what that is and how old you are at this time.
I've just had my 3rd child with Walter.
That's good.
And he's sitting on the edge of the bed even though he's been told he shouldn't. And I'm holding the baby. It's a boy. And then there's a boy and a girl sitting next to us. And he's kissing my head and telling me how proud he is. And his mum is standing in the doorway, smiling.
I am pleased to hear that. And tell me the names now of these 3 children that you have.
Isabella.
Good.
Edward. And baby Henry.
Thank you. And how are you feeling at this moment, having this time with your children and your husband there?
Deliriously happy.
I'm pleased. Tell me about the place that you're living in now.
In London. In one of those big white houses. Sort of like... Yeah, the big white houses, like 3 or 4 stories to them. Because I can look out of my bedroom and see other big white houses.
Very nice.
And I'm warm. And I'm safe.
That's good. And tell me, is there an area of London or a street name that you're getting with this now where you're living?
Region.
Lovely. Thank you. And now, staying with this lifetime, we'll move further forward in time to around the age of 44. Allow that to happen now. 44 years old in this lifetime. Tell me about that.
I'm ill. I'm not well. They don't know what's wrong with me.
How long have you been unwell?
A while. The doctor's just muttering something to my husband, telling him to bring the children in to say goodbye.
I'm sorry to hear that. And just allow a little bit of time to move further forward now, so that just a few more moments have passed. And just let me know what you're aware of now, in this time.
I know they're there, but I can't move. I can see them. I can see how sad they are, but I can't move.
Just going to test now and see, but just to see what happens if we jump forward and about a couple of years now, so 46, just see if you're aware of anything. 1, 2, 3. Tell me what you're aware of now.
I'm not there anymore.
Okay.
I'm watching them, but I'm not there.
Glad you still watch them. Just going to go to your final 10 minutes within your lifetime. So just allow yourself the next count of 3 to go to that time now. 1, 2, 3. Your final 10 minutes. And let me know what you're aware of now.
I'm floating and they're crying over me. And I'm trying to tell them it's fine. I'm not hurting anymore.
Maybe
but they
they
can't
will.
Hear me.
Maybe they will know at some point. The next count of 3 will be your final 10 seconds. As I count backwards from 10 to 0, just let me know of any awarenesses that you have, and it's okay for you to interrupt me if you're seeing, hearing, feeling or sensing something. But it's your final 10 seconds now.
It's like I'm looking straight into the sun.
9.
But it doesn't hurt.
8.
It's the sun. It's the brightest light.
7.
Bright. And I'm floating towards it.
6. 5. 4.
And calm.
3.
Bright.
2. 1. And 0. You've just passed over now. And at this moment, as you move from the life that you've just had, tell me what you're aware of right now.
Kind of feel like I'm a feather on a breeze. I'm just a bit floating. It's weird.
And how does that feel?
I don't know where I'm going.
Just allow time to move forward, if there is such a thing as time within this life between lives, and just allow that to move forward a little bit now, and let me know what you're aware of now.
Feels like I'm watching a million screens of different lives.
Tell me a little more about that, all those different lives. Do you know why you're seeing that now?
There's a voice telling me to choose.
Okay. And what's it telling you to choose?
Which life I want.
Okay. And what are you getting from this? Other senses or feelings for life? What are you being told?
I want to be a mother again. I want to finish my job.
That makes sense. Would you like to experience another life, or would you like that for another time? What's your higher self telling you now?
That I'm tired.
That's okay. Now, with that lifetime that you've just had, if you can review it now to see if there was any lesson or learning, and if there was, allow that to come to you now. Is there any lesson or learning from that life that you've had, or any message from your higher self?
Stay true to yourself. Don't be someone you're not.
Good. And you can allow yourself to be true to yourself throughout other lives that you have. Do you feel you need any healing, either physically or emotionally, from this life experience you just had?
No. It gave me something that I may not have had otherwise.
I'm glad, and I'm glad you found a nice man and had a nice family. In a moment I'm going to count to 3, and on 3 be back in that corridor you started off in. And the doors will be closed to those lives of yours, but you can reopen them whenever you want to. So allow yourself to go to that corridor now on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Back in that corridor now. And just let me know that you're there.
Yep. Still wonky.
In a moment I'm going to awaken you from this nice deep relaxed state. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And on 3 and only 3 your eyes will be open. You'll be refreshed. You'll be alert. You'll be full of confidence, remembering everything about this session with crystal clear clarity. Alright, now on 3 and only 3 your eyes will be open. So 1, becoming aware of your hands resting comfortably. 2 small movements in your body signalling there'll be soon time to awaken. On 3, eyes open, alert, refreshed, and ready for the rest of your night. You okay there, Penny?
Was that really an hour?
Yes.
That felt like 10 minutes. Whew.
So
Yeah.
please put, because there's some good amount of people still watching, so please put some comments down. How was that for you? And that's one of the interesting things with regression with hypnosis, is that people usually have no idea how long they've been in hypnosis. And when clients come to me, sometimes the only reason they realise they've been out for an hour is because when they try and drink their tea or coffee afterwards, they realise that it's completely and utterly cold. So did that make any sense to you, that life that you've had? And do ask some questions, people, as well.
The only thing that I can think of is it would explain why I'm fascinated about the Victorian era, because I think she was Victorian. But I think I've just got to go back and think about the things that, like, where the names have come from, and because I know you asked me the names of my children, but what did I say?
I can't remember now off the top of my head. I've forgotten, but it'll be on here for people to watch back after. So I will be able to say. Does anybody remember the children's names? Because that would be good to say what you said. But you said them all, and they're all in there. So that would be good to find out. And you also had a name of a couple of areas, and kind of some of the streets were kind of half names, but enough to find something on, which was really good.
I know that the pub was the Bear and something, because I keep seeing a bear, like on the boards you have outside the pubs. I kept seeing a bear with something, but I couldn't quite see. It was dirty. It was, I think, East End of East London. It was Isabella Edward, and well, that's weird because if I had a daughter, she was going to be called Isabella.
Interesting. And I'm glad somebody was taking notes. I usually remember.
Thank you.
Thank you. I usually remember, but it's just it had gone from my mind. I'm kind of half in hypnosis when I do these things anyway.
I can imagine.
In fact, Lauren said, "Do I ever regress myself?" Almost. I almost fall asleep sometime.
Well, yeah, it's very sort of soporific anyway. The whole sort of the hardest thing I think is just people watching you. But after a while, honestly, I felt like that was 10 minutes. I'm quite stunned.
So we got Isabella, William, and Henry. I think Henry was the little baby.
Right.
Yeah. So let's see what. So I got that one up. So that's your job to research.
Yeah. Cheers, Mark.
If it links.
Yeah, I think I'll leave the pub one to Lorianne because obviously that's her field, pubs.
Absolutely, I was thinking for Alehouse Haunts most definitely. So baby Henry was the youngest one.
I don't know the links to Henry or Edward, but what Michaela's just said, yes, that was something I did think of, but the only thing I can say, Michaela, is you don't think about a lot of it. The image is in your head, and you're just trying to describe the image. That's the only way I can explain it. But yeah, it's the fact that I really genuinely felt that it was 10 minutes.
So we've got here, it must be hard to regress a historian. You would wonder whether it was prior knowledge of history influenced use. It would be really fascinating. I'm really interested in finding out which facts can be verified. Well done. The interesting thing, so I was going to mention this as well, is that when I hypnotized Richard Felix, there was a question. He was a guard on a coach, and somebody put up who's on the throne, and I wouldn't usually ask that, but the questions I ask are ones that you would ask. I ask who the monarch is if they're directly employed by the monarch. But the question came, I thought I'd better ask it anyway because it was on a different stream. And I asked, and it actually jerked Richard a bit out of being in that mode because he said, I know, but he wouldn't know. And that kind of took him away from being in the regression at that point. So I tend to always make sure that, so if somebody was going to ask that, unless you happen to say like, I'm directly involved with the monarchy, I tend to leave out that because I like the questions to flow as much as it would be a normal conversation with somebody, because I wouldn't just go to somebody who's sitting in a coffee bar and say, who's the king? It'd just be something you wouldn't do to somebody. Brilliant.
I must admit, I do use that kind of question when I'm doing an investigation, if I'm trying to age the spirit, if that makes sense. So I'll normally say, have you got a male, is it a king or a queen on the throne? Because if they say queen, that really limits who it could be. But that's kind of as specific as I get. It's just so that I can work out what era I'm talking to. But the weirdest thing is it feels like 10 minutes. That's the only thing I can say to those people who thought that she's a historian, she's made it. Honestly, it felt like I was there for 10 minutes with the stuff that was coming in. And the last 10 seconds, it felt like I say, it felt like I was staring right into a bright light and something had me and was just pulling me towards it, like in my chest. And But I just remember, I do remember you saying, "Do you want to go to another life?" And I just thought, I can't. I'm too tired. Yeah.
No,
Mm.
absolutely. No, it's fine. The thing is, I didn't want to just, if you were interested, to suddenly jerk you out that, but I knew that'd probably be another hour. So I would have probably, oh, I might have done it for like half an hour or something like that. But I realised that it's a school day for people tomorrow as well. So I was just aware of the time and everything like that for people. Lorian said, "I'll get back to you." So I'll take that's about the alehouse haunts.
Yeah.
Somebody's got Edward, not William, but it's on there anyway. We can go back and check what is said, most definitely. So I'm going to go through the questions. Does anybody have any other questions or observations that they want to ask at all here? Let's wait for that to appear. So I'm interested in that screen that you saw, all the different lights, because that's slightly different to what some people have experienced before. So yeah, how did that appear to you, all the different sorts of screens?
It was like, when you get security cameras, they'll have a whole bank of screens. It was like that, but there were thousands, like a whole, as far as I could see. And there was nobody there, but I could feel someone behind me, like doing that. Like telling me to choose something. And I know I felt this overwhelming urge. I needed to be a mother again and see it through. That still stuck with me, that overwhelming mothering feeling.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've actually been somewhere else? I could smell it, Loz. I could smell the street. I could smell the sweat of the pub. I could smell. I felt myself occasionally smiling, or I know that when you asked me about, was it a matchstick factory, I wanted to cry. I was so scared. I wanted to cry. I remember feeling that it was, palpable, that kind of fear. In the minute I heard the stick, I could hear it in my head as you were talking, and I kind of half wanted to bring myself around because it was that scary.
Yeah.
So
I was looking at as well. So if you look like you got too upset, I would have probably taken you back to your relaxing place or something like that. And also as well, I did explore a little bit, but I didn't want to. That's why I then moved off to being 16, because I thought you should be out of it by then. Also as well, when I do these regressions, it seemed like your moment was coming of passing over and the doctor came in, but I thought I would test by going forward a bit, because sometimes you go forward and they're still living. They actually didn't die where you thought the person was going to die. So it's always good to try and do that. Do you feel any moments that gave you a shudder?
Yeah, the fear when I was in the factory. I was also, I think my dad scared me as well, because I didn't know what he was going to do next. I don't know. I just, was it number 2 I said?
It was number 2.
As a historian, the only reason I could think they would do that to children was to dehumanize them.
To dehumanize them, and probably it was easier than actually learning somebody's name to just go number 2, number 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be interesting to find out anyway.
I don't know if they did do. I've never really studied the match. I know a little bit about them. I know about the fuzzy jaw that they suffered and all that, but I never really studied the matchstick girls, for want of a better term. I just knew children did it because it was cheap labor. But no, I don't know why. I say it was, as far as I think it's so that you didn't have an identity, so you just did your work. That's the only reason I can think I was known of as a number.
I mean, in that moment, which I didn't, because the archetype wasn't the most pleasant for you, but do you feel like you made any friendships with any of the people at this factory, or do you reckon it was like you wouldn't be allowed to do it?
We were all in it together, but we had to be very, very careful. That's why I didn't feel I could stick up for anyone when they were having a bad time, because I would then have a really bad time, and then I wouldn't be able to work. Sorry, I was just writing.
Number 6.
Indrid, is it? Yeah, number 6.
Yeah, I get that reference. The prisoner. Yes, most definitely.
I'm not a number. I'm
A free
Um,
man.
yes, matchmaking was dangerous. That's the fuzzy jaw thing I mentioned. It's because here's the history lesson. It's because they used to lick the matches to get the powder to stick to it, and the powder was highly carcinogenic. And so mainly women worked in these factories, and they would get, like, it's called fuzzy jaw, and it's not there's other industries it happened in, and it would basically cause these like massive tumors that would just eat away at their jaws, and that they would die from it.
Yeah.
But there's other industries that happened in. I think there was one in the States when they started using like the radioactive stuff for illuminating dials on clocks. The girls were taught to lick the paintbrush to make the point fine, and this was 1940s, 1950s, and they also had a similar thing. But my gut feeling as I was dying was it was something inside me, inside my stomach, that was in, and maybe it was down to the lifestyle I'd had before I had children. I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't
Possibly.
know.
But you say about the watches, that would have been highly radioactive. And I remember actually people used to think radioactive materials were good for you. They'd have radium bath salts and things like that you could throw into your bath, which was just horrendous.
There was a book I read about it. It was these factories. I think they were in New Jersey, around there, and they ended up taking a class suit against the owners, and the owners were like, no, inhaling radium is good, it cleanses your blood, it does this, it does that, and it was killing, but it wasn't killing them straight away. It was like 5, 6, 7 years down the line. But yeah, there's that much I do know. I've never really studied it. It's something that's quite interesting that what the women went through isn't documented. You have to kind of read between the lines to work it out. So yeah.
I think we'll stay for about another 5 minutes. So if anybody has any questions they really want to ask, then we'll give another 5 minutes, because I'm aware for people that tomorrow's another school day, and and all how to put it, and that people might be wanting to be up. So if anybody has any questions, please put them up here. So we're going to do another chat at some point in the future on my paranormal channel about the haunted histories. So do you want to, as people ask any potential last questions, just say again about the haunted histories, your books, and how people can get hold of haunted histories yourself or any of your books?
Well, there's a Facebook page, Haunted Histories. There's a website, hauntedhistories.co.uk. There's a Twitter page, I think, or X, whatever it's called now. My books are all available on all the different Amazons. If you just look up Penny Griffiths Morgan, it will come up with all 5 of them that I've written so far. It's easy as that. But Haunted Histories, basically, in a nutshell, was to try and show people. Yes, yeah, that's it. What she just put there. It's quite, and it's relatively modern as well, because a lot of the watches and stuff were being made for World War II military use. That's how it started, and then they started realizing they were quite commercial. What was I going to say? So it was to show people in the paranormal that history isn't dull and boring, and what they might have learnt at school isn't what history really is all about. But then also show historians that people who are interested in the paranormal aren't all a bit crazy, and there is a logic and a science to it. And that's really why I started it, to sort of marry the two.
Fantastic. Well, we will set that up for some point soon, whenever it fits in with your schedule. So I think that's probably, I think people have asked their questions, but do go back over the live afterwards. If it's YouTube or if it's on Facebook, you can get me Past Life Regressions with Paul Goddard on YouTube, or Facebook Paul Goddard Past Life Regressions, and you can come across this. Do put more comments back in again. That'd be wonderful.
Lauren's asked what you look like.
Yeah.
Right, she'll laugh at this one. In Enola Holmes, Henry Cavill plays Sherlock Holmes, a kind of more slim kind of version of that. That's the only way I can describe it. He was so tall, very tall, but it's like slimmer, like more chiseled, like bigger cheekbones, and his hair was shorter. but like that, dressed like that. That's how I describe him.
Amazing. Well, I'd like to thank Penny again for allowing herself to be hypnotized and people watching live. I'd like to thank all of you for joining in, commenting. I did see a lot of people whilst I was putting Penny into hypnosis coming up. I'm sorry I didn't say hello to you, but I didn't want to just break the going into hypnosis and start mentioning to people. But every single person who has watched, I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll see you again soon on one of these Past Life Regressions live, and thank you everybody for watching tonight.
Thank you, everyone.